Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Guman-Singh. Topping our newscast, now that Danny has cleared our way, we are keeping a close eye on Erica on its current path, and based on projections, the center of Erica should make its closest point to the approach of the VI on Thursday at 6 p.m., and that was the latest word as of 11 a.m. However, Bernie Reno is standing by in the News Weather Center with the latest. Bernie?
Yes, and tropical storm Erica continues its move to the west-northwest. Now take a look at the satellite, getting a little better organized. Now we don't think that Erica will be like Danny in the sense that Danny intensified very quickly. Erica is going to be slow intensification or holding its own strength over the coming days, but it's a fast system. As a result, we expect Erica to be impacting our weather late Wednesday night into Thursday. For now, I think we need to start preparing for tropical storm conditions here on Thursday. More coming up in a few minutes, but again, Erica certainly will be impacting our weather beginning late Wednesday and into Thursday. I'll have more in just a little bit, Sandy.
Thanks for that update, Bernie. Well, how did the territory fare under Danny? It's safe to say residents were a bit underwhelmed, especially those who have been looking forward to a lot of rain to bust the drought. But the other system, Erica, which started out as Invest 98L, is now barreling towards the territory, as Bernie just mentioned. News 2's April Knight has details.
There was a bit of disappointment Monday night for drought-stricken Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico as the struggling remnants of Danny swept across the territory. Danny was projected to give the territory between 2 to 4 inches of rain, most of which came later into Monday night through the earlier hours of Tuesday morning. Now, don't get comfortable just yet, because right behind Danny is Erica, which quickly formed into a tropical storm Monday night with winds up to 45 miles per hour and even stronger gusts. Now here is what Erica is looking like. The tropical storm will be battling dry air and wind shear just like Danny, and follows almost the exact same path. Unlike Danny, however, Erica is a much bigger system and moving faster at 20 miles per hour. It's projected to slow down as it moves forward.
As far as we know right now, there's no plans for us to leave any time prior to having a better handle on what it is that might happen with 98L. If there's a requirement to have more support down here, we'll certainly do that.
On Tuesday morning, a tropical storm watch was in effect for Montserrat, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, Saba, St. Eustatius and St. Martin, Guadeloupe, St. Martin and St. Bart's. The watches are expected to escalate to warnings Tuesday evening. Tropical storm conditions are possible within the watch area by Wednesday night or early Thursday. Erica is expected to reach the Virgin Islands by Thursday. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
The tropical storm watch for the mentioned islands have not changed as of news time. Count on 2 to keep you updated. Vitima's director shares some tips on hurricane preparedness during the hurricane season. Tonight's topic is more about the role Vitima plays before, during, and after the storm. Well, let's talk about the public being notified in the event of a hurricane or tropical storm. What are some of the ways? Of course, we know we tune into the radio.
Correct.
If we have the battery-powered radio, and sometimes the television goes down. But Vitima is key. You guys do a great job with getting the information across to us. What kind of pointers can we give people?
Yes. Well, again, as you said, radio is key. So it's also important, part of your planning kit, that you have a portable radio that you can use. And also, if you are not on VI alert, that's where you actually get the early warnings. You get all the information that comes directly from Vitima. So I encourage everyone to ensure that they go and they sign up for VI alert.
And what's the website?
The website is www.vitima.gov. So that's another avenue that you can get information about our agency.
Okay, and on there we'll get some press releases, updated information, and the alerts can come through your cell phone.
Correct.
And stuff like that, okay. And what is, if people don't know what Vitima is all about, tell us about the role Vitima plays in general before and after the storm.
I'm so happy you asked me that question. Vitima becomes the coordinating agency for any response, i.e. if there's a hurricane, what we do is ensure that all the resources that the community needs, we collaborate and we coordinate to ensure that everyone has what they need. But sometimes you will find anytime something happens, they call by TEMA, which is not a bad thing, but initially you should go to the agency that you need that response from, and then if they need help or they need coordination, then that's what we do at VITEMA.
Now, after a major storm hits, what should folks do? Like we were talking about, many people have been through some of the hurricanes, and we've learned a lot. We've come a long way. At this point, you know, a storm hits. What should be the first thing after the storm passes?
After the storm passes, the first thing that the agency is going to do, we have to make an assessment, and the assessment is the key is going to be lives and infrastructure. So once we make that assessment, this next thing we have to do is actually clear roads so that we can have movement, clear the ports, because we need things to come in and out. So those are some of the things we do up front. But even for families, I ask you, even after the storm, when you go out, try not to go out looking and seeking, you know, because it still can be danger even after the storm passes. And we just ask that you just stay together until you get further information from the agency.
And be sure to count on too. VITEMA will provide some updates as they become necessary. Meanwhile, the West Indian Company says that cruise schedule changes remain. Norwegian Getaway and Carnival Glory canceled their call to the Waco dock. That was today, Tuesday. Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas as well. That ship was scheduled to berth in Crown Bay. Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas has been canceled. The ship was scheduled at the Waco dock on Wednesday, August 26th. Royal Caribbean's Adventure of the Seas will make that unscheduled visit to St. Thomas on Friday, August 28th. Carnival Liberty will visit on Saturday, August 29th. The Adventure of the Seas will return on Sunday, August 30th. Meanwhile, plenty of flight schedule changes for regional airlines. Seabourn has not yet canceled flights, but you are advised to check with SeabournAirlines.com regularly. There are, however, plenty of cancellations for Liat, and you'll have to double check your flight on their website, liat.com. But for Wednesday, August 26th, 5 flights were canceled, affecting Barbados, Antigua, St. Kitts, Dominica, Tortola, St. Martin, and San Juan. On Thursday, August 27th, 11 flights were canceled, also affecting the same places we just mentioned. On Friday, 1 flight is canceled from San Juan. Again, please check your airline carriers for any updates as the tropical storm approaches. In other news, the VI's Housing Authority began demolishing the vacant homes of the former Ralph D. Chabert Housing Community Tuesday. Housing got approval from DPNR to begin the first phase of the project since the first 5 buildings were cleared of any hazards. News 2's Erica Parsons has more.
The abandoned buildings of the Ralph D. Chabert Housing Community began coming down today.
The Virgin Islands Housing Authority, under the Executive Director, Robert Graham, we're demolishing 45 structures on this site. What you see behind of us ongoing right now are the first of the 5 structures that have been cleared of all asbestos or any hazards that were present.
The Housing Authority project comes at a price tag of just over $4 million. Project managers expect to be finished by December or January. They started clearing the structures closest to Juanita Gardine Elementary School first.
Further up the street, those buildings are being cleared as we speak. This is primarily a part of phase 1, and because of the proximity to the school and the Department of Health, we would like to get all of this area cleared prior to the start of school.
The work is being done by RG Engineering out of Puerto Rico, but there's a program in place to make sure locals are hired.
We have a program called Section 3, whereby residents who reside in the housing communities that are federally funded under HUD, right now primarily the John F. Kennedy and the D. Hamilton Jackson. We have approximately 6 employees that are currently working on this job site. Right now, the phase of work that we're in right now is a highly specialized from the abatement process, so you have to have certain certification. But nonetheless, we've done our due diligence, and we're going to continue to employ local Virgin Islanders.
Officials have secured the entire perimeter around the demolition site. They've also been using a special mist to keep the dust down.
We're trying to take whatever initiatives, whatever to mitigate any emissions from the project, and we just want to assure the safety of not only the workers but the surrounding community.
They are prepared to secure the site if weather threatens. So far, the plan is to leave a serene site in place. Erica Parsons, News 2.
Judge Wilma Lewis on Wednesday sentenced Gregory Williams, Jr., 24 of St. Croix, to 12 months in prison for illegally receiving a firearm. Judge Lewis also sentenced Williams to 1 year of supervised release and ordered him to pay a $1,000 fine. Williams admitted that in January 2015, he picked up a package at the post office that had been sent from Florida, knowing it contained an illegal firearm. Shockey Thomas, 25, was arrested on Thursday and charged by criminal complaint with possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number and unlawful mailing of a firearm. Thomas faces a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. Also, Dwayne Friday, 37, pleaded guilty in district court on St. Croix to distribution of cocaine, possession of cocaine with intent to distribute, and carrying a firearm during a drug trafficking crime. According to the plea agreement, Friday sold 5 baggies of cocaine to an undercover U.S. DEA agent on the Christiansted Boardwalk. In addition, on March 14, 2015, police responded to a citizen complaint that a male individual pointed a gun at another person on the Christiansted Boardwalk. Friday, who told police that he had a gun on him to protect himself and people on the boardwalk as he was doing security, after Friday admitted that he did not have a license to carry the gun. Keeping our eye on the economy, stocks dived at the close on Tuesday, erasing any hope that the worst of the Wall Street turmoil was over. The market soared in early trading as investors shook off fears of a slowing Chinese economy and a further plunge in Asian stocks. The Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed as much as 442 points, or 1.9%. But the gains slowly faded in the afternoon, and a last-minute sell-off left the Dow down 204. That came after a turbulent Monday when the Dow plunged almost 1,100 points in the morning and closed down more than 500. And analysts caution that the markets may not calm down anytime soon. Investors are watching China closely because it's a major engine of the world economy and a huge market for American products. Earlier Tuesday, China's central bank cut interest rates for the 5th time in 9 months in an effort to speed slowing growth, and its top economic official tried to dispel fears that the Chinese currency might lose more value. Tune in. We'll talk to local financial advisors to get their take on how clients should handle it. Here's the New York Stock Exchange with our Stock Market Watch. Taking a look there, the Dow, NASDAQ, S&P 500 also down. The Dow 204, NASDAQ 19, S&P 500 25. Coming up on News 2, Governor Mapp signed a proclamation honoring our local newsman, Alvin G. Southwell. Tuesday, August 25th, is now Alvin G. Sylvester Southwell Day in the USVI. Alvin G. is laid to rest as the entire community celebrated his life and many contributions. Welcome back. Licensing and consumer officials are concerned that prices at the pumps locally aren't falling, while the price of oil is at its lowest in a year. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, gas prices have dropped more than $1 a gallon nationally because of the lower prices. Those savings haven't translated locally, particularly on St. Croix, where the price at the pump has only dropped 26 cents since January. Officials urge consumers to choose wisely when deciding to spend their hard-earned money. Licensing plans to take action against some retailers to provide relief for consumers. Friends and family said a final farewell Tuesday to longtime broadcaster Alvin Southwell, better known to most as Alvin G. Dozens of people packed the St. John's Episcopal Anglican Church to honor the man who delivered news throughout the Caribbean for more than 30 years. News 2's Erica Parsons has that story.
Tears and sadness on the faces of friends, family, and colleagues who bid Alvin G. their last goodbye Tuesday.
His absence is certainly felt every single morning and every single afternoon when I turn on the radio expecting to hear his voice, and it's not there.
Emotion from family members and close friends.
Alvin was part of our family at the Vibe. When we initially decided we were going to start a station, myself and my other 2 partners said we wanted news, and the best man in the business was Alvin G.
When he said, "News you can trust," that was really news you can trust. I depended on Alvin at 6 in the morning, and it was very sad
Dozens of people attended the funeral of longtime newscaster Alvin George Sylvester Southwell.
He was a friend, and he was a perfectionist. He set the bar for how the news should be, should be put out there for the public.
I hope Alvin knew how many people really loved him and depended on him for their quality reporting.
Dignitaries, including the governor, lieutenant governor, and senators, all paid their respects. Members of the media who knew and worked with Southwell over the years traveled from all over to honor him.
You know, Alvin G made a huge impact on those who knew him and the whole community, really. And Governor Mapp proclaimed today, August 25th, as Alvin G. Sylvester Southwell Day.
I think Alvin probably would have said, I don't need a day. You know, he wasn't someone who liked the limelight, but it is certainly deserved.
Alvin is certainly deserving of it being Alvin G. Day. To put it simply, Alvin was simply the best. He was a professional, but he cared so much for so many people.
He was kind, he was understanding, and he cared about the people. He truly loved the Virgin Islands.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
Condolences to family and friends of Alvin G. Congresswoman Delegate Stacey Plaskett will be in the territory for constituents meetings on Thursday at the Legislative Annex on St. John at 10 a.m., as well as a meet and greet at 5. There will also be an open house Friday, August 28th from 5 to 7 at the district office, Port of Sale Mall, St. Thomas. More constituents meetings on Tuesday, September 1st and 3rd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the district office, Frederiksted, St. Croix. Well, many of our students are looking beyond the tropical storm to the beginning of the school year. And in the past weeks, we've seen the community get involved in getting them ready for school. News 2's April Knight has details on recent back-to-school events as well as what you can look forward to in the next coming weeks.
It's not just students gearing up for school, but also parents, teachers, in fact, the entire community. Just this weekend, the Nigel O. Hodge Foundation gave away backpacks to some lucky students. Impacting Your World Christian Ministries will also be giving away backpacks this coming Saturday, the 29th, at their church on St. Thomas. Retired Judge James Carroll is calling on fathers again, as he has done since 2009, to get involved in their children's first day. His organization is holding the annual Back to School Fathers March on September 8th.
We hope that on that day, thousands of fathers from the Virgin Islands and father figures will go back to school with their children on the first day and make a commitment to be with their children in the school and help them in school and in life during the school year.
That event is preceded by a rally at Emile Griffith Park on Saturday, August 29th at 1 p.m. The following weekend on September 5th and 6th, local churches will conduct the back-to-school Days of Prayer.
We know that prayer changes things, and it's very important that we cover our children with prayer for safely in the schools.
The Department of Education also has some things in store. They're holding a parent-teacher conference for the St. Thomas St. John district on September 6th at the Marriott's. The department is also highlighting special education teachers. That's going to be at the Windmill on St. Thomas September 3rd from 5:30 p.m. For News 2, I'm April Knight.
The university's VICCC is holding the Empowered Parents Successful Children Conference. That's on St. Thomas, September 3rd from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and on St. Croix in the Great Hall on September 4th, the same time. The Junior Gardening and Ecology Academy graduated 25 students this month, celebrating the 23rd year of its 8-week summer course that was held at the Seventh-day Adventist School. Founder and director Maria Francis said the students ages 7 to 15 were from local, private, public schools as well as the mainland. The students participated in field trips, camping trips on Water Island, Megan's Bay, and St. John. The students got lumber from an old nursery and reconstructed a greenhouse, fixed it up as a classroom, and grew cucumbers, tomatoes, sugar apple, and pomegranates, much more. The Academy is a not-for-profit with occasional contributions from local benefactors. Congratulations to the students. Be sure to stick around more. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast comes up next.